Welcome back to another video, guys. In this video, we're going to be working on my Polaris Indy XLT. This is my little 580. Next weekend, we're going to Wisconsin, so I got a little cardboard list of things that I need to get done to this thing before we go. So in this video, we're going to be maintaining the sled and getting her ready for Wisconsin. So enjoy. So here's my little list of things. I got chain case fluid, belt, stickers, air filter, carb clean / check, gas cap, track inspection. We're gonna do some paint work in some areas, spark plugs, headlight plastic, detail wax, and then skis. I want those painted because they look rough. So yeah, here she is. My dad's getting off the old registration stickers. They were from like 2007, and then the Wisconsin Trail Pass is from 09. So it's almost been 20 years since it's been registered, which is crazy. But here's my parts sled that we're gonna be stealing a lot of things off of. So yeah, this is XLT Indy Special, so it has the Fox shocks and all that fancy stuff on it. But the first thing I did was I stole its gas cap. Here's the one that was on my sled. Hardly can see it or anything. Works nice though. You can clean that up with some rag, and maybe you could sand it and buff it, or put like one of those refinishing rags where it kind of like melts the plastic and makes it look new. But the part sled had this aftermarket one in it, which works really well and it's reading fine. So I put that one in instead, and it actually kind of looks kind of cool being silver with a nice clear lens. But yeah, I think my next step is gonna be fixing this. So you see I got a hole in my plastic there, and my OCD is getting driven crazy by it. So over here on the part sled, we got a perfectly good piece of plastic. So I'm gonna take this off, and I'm gonna throw it on my sled. Caught it. Sweet. Just like that. So as you saw there, no more hole in my headlight housing. Super happy with that. Slowly making it look better, but I kind of jumped right into the beauty side of things, and there's a lot of important maintenance things that we need to get done. So I'm gonna start with what I think is the most important. The last 3 times I rode it, I slowly began to lose brakes, and now I basically have no brakes. So I'm gonna pop this cap off. I'm pretty sure the fluid's gonna be empty, and if so, I'm gonna fill it up and we're gonna bleed the system. Bone dry. Just like I suspected. I've honestly never checked the fluid ever since I got this thing. So that's been 3 years. So for all I know, it could have been low on fluid 3 years ago, and now it just has no fluid. So let's add some fluid into here I'm gonna clean out this reservoir a little bit. Then I'm gonna add fluid into here, and we're gonna flush the system. So there's our bleeder right down here. It's size 3/8, and I'm using this wrench to break it free. There we go. I'm actually gonna spin it all the way out, and then spin it all the way back in. There we go. Oh, fluid's coming out of it. Screw it back in, quick, 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 quick. Right there, our handlebar fluid went down. So yeah, what we're gonna do here is kind of like a car. I like to pump the handlebar lever 3 times, and on the third one, have somebody hold it, or you hold it. Like I just reach over here, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll hold, and I'll open the bleeder, and then I'll close the bleeder, all while holding pressure down so it didn't suck in any air. And then I'll pump it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll hold it there. There we go. Tighten it back up. So that's just letting all the air out of the system. Obviously don't let your fluid run low up in there. Go ahead and top up my fluid. And I'm gonna do it a few more times just to be sure that my system is bled. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. Break the bleeder free. Tighten it back up. Pump it up 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding. So as you see, do you have it on my hand?
Mm-hmm. Both.
When I open it, the lever falls because you're losing pressure because you're pushing it out the bleeder. That's okay. As long as you don't let the lever go the other direction, the pull in there, you're good. So you watch. I'm gonna open the bleeder, lever goes in, tighten it back up, now let the lever out, and then pump up. Bleeder is tight, got good pressure here. I'm gonna call that good. I did a little bit more than what you actually probably needed to do, just because I wanted to flush out all the fluid that was still left over in those lines, because who knows how old that stuff is. But yeah. Now we put our rubber cover back in. And the cap. Just using a 1/4" wrench on these. If you make them too tight, you will find out that they will break. So take it easy. Just want to get them snug. Okay, so far on our list, things I can mark off is we got all the old stickers off. Hopefully my stickers from the DNR come before our trip. If not, I have all the temporary registration. We got our new gas cap on there. We did the headlight plastic. We fixed the brakes. Anything you want to do tonight?
How about the chain case fluid and the belt? That seems really important.
Okay. Well, you heard my dad. It's getting late. It's like midnight, so my dad's tired, but we're going to quickly drain the chain case fluid, and we're going to throw on the belt. So I say let's do the easiest thing. Let's do the belt. So right here I got my genuine Polaris belt that goes on my 580 Indy. And I'll have this link down below if you want to know where they get the belt from. On Amazon, it was like, I think 70 bucks or 80 bucks or 60 bucks, somewhere in that ballpark. And yeah, so what I got here on my thing is I got a Polaris belt as a spare, but this thing is really old, and I mean really old. So I don't know how useful it's gonna be, but it's nice as a backup, right? But on here, this belt actually seems pretty good. So I'm gonna take this belt off and put it as my spare, and then this belt is gonna go on it. And then lastly, this third belt will be my backup that I'll have in a crate of parts at the shed that we have up in Wisconsin. So let's get this belt off. How hard can it be, right? I've never done this before. Okay, this is my way of doing it. I have no clue if this is the right way, but I was thinking maybe I could rotate it, possibly. Hold up. Looking like an amateur. Well, I have my belt lined up on top of this other belt, and it is not the right size belt, so I'm not going to be throwing on this new belt. I'm going to be rocking the belt that's on it. So yeah. And then I'll have this one as my backup. And there is a ton of dealerships up there that would definitely probably have the right belt if I need a third belt. Because if I blow this one, I'm going to throw this one on, and I'll go buy another belt to put my spare belt up here. So we should be good. So now, belt, I'm going to cross it off because we're just going to rock what we got. So if you're lucky, your snowmobile has a nice little hole in the bottom of it to get to your drain bolt for your chain case, but mine doesn't. So watch me as I guess on where I should drill a hole, because I'm not removing my whole panel. Somewhere right in here. So update, fun fact, if you haven't, I don't know how low it goes, but if your snowmobile is older than 95, you do not have a drain plug. I figured that out after I drilled the hole. So what you need to do is pop this side cover off and have a new seal handy to put on. So I am going to order a seal for that, and I'm gonna have to do that. So tragic, but yeah. And then also last night I was looking down here and I found that this bogey wheel or track wheel is shot. So I'm gonna be replacing that, as well as I took off this bogey wheel right here, and the bearing is shot in here as well. It's howling like crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and check every single one of these and change out all the bearings and everything. But I'm gonna go to my buddy's brother's shop where he has new bearings and good bogey wheels. I'm gonna take my parts sled because some of these bogey wheels might be good on here as well that I can steal. And he's also got a part sled that is the exact same sled as mine right here. So he'll have a ton of parts as well. So between the new bearings and all these extra parts that we're gonna have, we're gonna get this thing up and running good. So yeah, I just gotta clear off my trailer and restrap things down and head his way. Okay, I got my sled here. We've made the decision to just take my whole skid out, and we're gonna be putting the skid off my parts sled into it. They give me a little bit more ground clearance, and it has a way better track on it because mine is basically worn down to like a 1/4 inch. So groom trail riding, probably gonna be fine. Any other kind of thing there without the suspension travel and with that track, I'm gonna be just tugging my sled out 24/7, so gonna swap this guy in. So a little update. We are taking the track out of this one, and yeah, here's how it's going. Steel bolt is stuck in some aluminum. Soon we'll have this one lifted up and we're gonna be ripping the bottom skid out of it, but I'm gonna keep this skid just in case I end up using it again. But most likely I'm just gonna put all the big upgraded suspension on this guy. They're swapping out the tires to put on some narrower ones. So when we go up to Wisconsin, but the lug nuts are stuck on. I think got the skid out. So now I'm gonna go rebuild all the bearings in it.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It's like a little scooter.
Yeah, don't fall into that solid barrel of metal.
So I went ahead, got my old brake shoes out. You can see there's just a little bit of life on them. There's a lot more life on these ones from my parts sled, as you can see. So I went ahead and cleaned them up and threw them in there. And my parts sled had this pull cable guide, so went ahead and put that on there because it's just been rubbing my brake, which is terrible. And then the one on here is worn out. You can see that huge notch on it. So I got the one from the parts sled that's still good, and I'm about to rivet it on. Got my 3 rivets in. Well, my skid came out in like 5 seconds, which was crazy. But now we gotta see if they'll work. If we can put that skid in here, because they are a little bit different. But we'll see. His lug nuts are stuck on. He's almost got them all on. The new tires. The snow tires. Okay, we've deemed that the special one with these big old shocks will not bolt up to mine. So here's mine, but we also deemed that all these holes on this skid are wallowed out. So you'll see right here, it just wiggles, and that's terrible. So we got another part sled right here. This one's identical to mine, and we stole its skid that's over here. So we got 3 skids. This one's in nice condition. All we're gonna have to do now is take all these wheels off, and we're gonna replace the bearings in them. So over here, we've been just removing all the wheels. We're just pulling the bearings out. You saw her there. They got the track out. They're the same size, which is good news. But this one's got a lot more paddle than my busted up one over here, so it's gonna grip better. So tell them what they need to look for.
You know what I'm saying though? So when we look at the other bearings, some of them had big holes,
Yeah.
some of them have itty bitty ones.
Gotcha.
We'll count how many bearings we took out and see which ones we need.
Sounds good. Almost out. One more hit. Nice work. So here's our skid. We got all new bearings and all these wheels. They all spin amazing. Awesome. Got the sled all put back together here. It's running amazing. But let's take a look at our little checklist. So we got chain case fluid. We ended up taking that all apart, and we put new fluid in the chain case, air filter. I put that on. Carb clean and check, we're not gonna do that. Track inspection, we ended up putting a new one on. Paint, I didn't do any painting. Spark plugs, I still gotta buy those. Detail and wax, nope. Skids painted, we actually put new skis on it, so we don't need that anymore. Coolant, yep, I did that last night. Bearings and wheels, we replaced all 12 bearings in the wheels and the skid. That's good. So mechanically, we got it all done except for the spark plugs and the carb clean, but I mean, it just started first pull. I'm not gonna mess with the carbs. So I'm gonna cross that one out. But yeah, so I'll get some new spark plugs and gap them and do just some detail work. Make it look a little better before I go. Little walk around. Looking good with that new track down there. Sits a lot higher and we actually have rear suspension now. But yeah, here's the graveyard. This one's basically identical to mine. So Victor now has the same engine because he took it out of this one, put it in his. And I stole a whole bunch of the suspension and the skid, but it's got a lot of good bones on it. The seat and all that. Then here's my part sled, which is the same as Victor's and Nick's. So it has a lot of good suspension parts for them as well. And this nice skid. But yeah, the graveyard. So in that video you saw that we got a ton of work done to the sled. It is now all prepped and ready to go to Wisconsin. I am super stoked about the trip. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video a lot. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Bye.